browser, like you said, and put it on the side just
Hey,
in case.
everybody. Welcome to Bad Science Sunday, where we take a comedic approach to debunking science misinformation on the internet. Today, we have AJ from Ways to Human, and she's going to be helping us debunk. I, it's some Jordan Peterson, and I want to say bad psychology, but like these are, I, I don't know. I think most psychologists hate. I'm not a psychologist, but I think most people in the psych field hate JLP for the JLP. Jordan Peterson. JLP is a different whack job, but hate Jordan Peterson for the same reason, and it's because he hides his opinions behind, his PhD, and he does have a PhD in psychology, but like all the bullshit that he spews on the internet is generally not peer-reviewed science. AJ, what do you think of Jordan Peterson?
I, man, I don't even know. I don't have too many words for him just because he's so awful. Like, it kind of leaves you a little bit speechless. Um, you know, like I'm someone that's very interested in a lot of topics, okay? But I don't come and claim like, oh, I'm an expert on this or I'm an expert on that. And I feel like sometimes he does that. Like he will,
Sometimes. Right.
yeah,
No, often,
all the
yeah.
time.
It is so funny. Oops. It's so funny with him because, like, a lot of times he'll be like, well, I worked with this, so I did a lot of reading, or I did this, so, I can talk about how climate change isn't real. And I'm like, you still just have the one PhD in psychology, right? Clinical psychology. So you're like licensed to be a psychologist, but you're a professor. So you're not even, I'm not even sure what he's doing right now.
Like I was going to ask, is he still employed as a professor of psychology,
I'd have to
or
double
has he
check
sort of
that.
shifted to being a public figure instead?
Yeah. Last I checked, he was a celebrity. So, I mean, he could be a professor. I'm not sure. I know that,
Yeah, I think actually quite recently he stopped working on a professional setting. He worked at Harvard and then he went back to Canada and he worked there at the I can't remember what university it was, but he was like he had like a position there. Um, but I don't know if he quit or if he was fired. I'm not exactly sure, but I don't think he has any official position right now. He's just like you said, sort of a celebrity psychologist
mhm.
that people listen to when when they don't understand real science.
And we're talking, of course, about Jordan Peterson, the
Oh
subject of
yeah.
our
Yeah,
video
every
today.
time I put into Google, like, what does he do? It's like, well, he's done all of these things. I mean, like, no, right now. And it's just like, well, he's done all these things. And I'm like,
Oh yeah. I mean, and he
yeah,
feels
no, it's the least helpful Google's ever been to me.
yeah, he feels like he can talk about anything though. Like he feels like he can put out his two
Yeah, it's
cents
like, well,
on
he talks a lot,
everything.
like a whole lot. Like, yes,
Yeah.
Google, he certainly does.
Like, okay, one of the most mind blowing things I heard him say was that they were talking about this guy that committed some type of violent crime against the woman because the women were rejecting him, right? And he was like, well, the way to solve male violence due to being rejected by women is by enforced monogamy. Like, enforced monogamy, like that's very,
What?
very biblical.
Oh,
If you
yeah,
ask me.
forced monogamy is very popular with people who follow Jordan Peterson. Um, the right is trying to force women to stay with them and not divorce them, so that they can treat us however they want and have no repercussions for it.
Yeah, I mean, like if you think about it, like what is he asking for specifically? Like, what the government to enforce people to follow monogamy? Like, if you want to go date, like you can't because what you just gotta date one person at a time, or you have to be married. It
No, I
basically,
mean, and if you're a woman, you shouldn't date anyone at all. At around 15 or 16, your father should give you to a 35-year-old, and you just stay with him forever, in his house, cooking and cleaning and raising his children. You
This
know,
reminds
like the
me.
traditional wives used to.
Yeah, I was gonna say that reminds me of like the what is it called, the purity balls
Hmm.
The
movement, where
rings
they, yeah, like where they
and
have
the
like
Well,
those
no, a
purity.
purity
Yeah.
little
ball
balls.
is
Oh,
it's like a prom for a daughter
yeah.
and her father.
It's a
It's
ball.
like,
Yeah.
It's not creepy at all.
yeah, basically you sign a contract that you're giving your virginity to your
Your
dad, I
dad
guess. Like,
until your husband comes along to take it. So your dad,
Oh
yeah,
God, that's so weird.
isn't
it's
it? Isn't
so
it?
Oh,
weird. It's really, really, really screwed up. Yeah. Okay, I
ugh.
don't know if I can cuss here, but
My dad
I
has
don't
my
have
virginity
children.
until he gives me away. Yeah, yeah,
I don't
that's the
even
thought.
have children, and like everything about that is just not.
I feel
No,
like you need to go
it
take a shower
should
now.
make you feel that
Mm.
way. If you're a normal human being, it should make you feel that way. However, this is the world that you're trying to force us into because, you know, two people either one thought it wasn't worth the price of eggs, or two, just credibly lie about how they feel about a president not having a penis.
Oh yeah, 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 for sure.
Yeah, I mean, well,
That is a whole another story. Yeah, I mean, in this case, it wasn't just like the penis situation. I think it was like the skin color situation too. It was like a mix where people just could not fathom having a being in control that has both of those features because it's too much.
Yeah, it was just way too much. It's like, okay, okay, you had us with the black thing. We could do half black.
Like if she was
But the no
white,
penis thing was
maybe.
just a step too far.
Right? Because imagine if it had been one of those white Republican women that they've been peddling. Like, they would have been all over it. They would have been all over it.
A lot of people laughed at Joe Biden for saying that he thinks he could have won, but I think that that was his way of saying without saying that a woman couldn't win.
Oh, yeah. I keep saying this. Had it been a white male that ran
Hmm.
for the Democrats,
Hmm.
there's no way Trump would have beat him. Like, no, no way.
Now, I mean, just everything, all things being the same, white male. Yeah, I believe
yeah,
that.
but if
Yeah, sorry.
okay, all things being the same, yeah, maybe. But if it was Joe Biden, I think Joe Biden would have lost.
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I not as badly as she did.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Joe Biden would not have lost Nevada. I
Mm.
You're gonna have a really hard time convincing me of that.
Okay. Yeah. Fair enough.
I'm with you on that one. Sorry.
Yeah.
We agree there.
And like I don't know, we can go state by state about where I think,
Yeah. We
but
could do that,
but yeah,
or we could
that's not
not do
what all
that.
this is for, right? Yeah, that's not what this is for. I'm just saying I've said what I'm going to say. And AJ, please tell us about who you are and give us your elevator pitch because we have a different crew earlier in the night than we do later.
All right, that's cool. Yeah, well, I started YouTubing like less than a year ago. I just started my channel, and I was like, talking about atheism with other people, and a lot of stuff about women's rights and trans rights, especially misinformation regarding biological sex and gender, and all of that stuff really interested me. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna go out and start putting on some content, and it became something that people enjoyed listening to. A lot of my videos are like about brain stuff, like debunking, I don't know, like the God belief, and how your brain processes um, the God concept. Right? I've made videos about, I don't know, teenage brain, or like how music affects your brain and all that kind of stuff. And I also do like debunking religion specifically, like I don't know, debunk Noah's Ark or debunking Adam and Eve using historical data and biology, any kind of science that I come across, and help people not necessarily be like, hey, you're wrong. More like, look, these are the facts. Let's look at this more objectively with like a little bit more skepticism. And that's like the whole point of my channel, which is Ways to Human. And then I've also been doing a lot of live videos on other channels because I just enjoy the conversation so much. And like, I don't have a lot of people in my real life sort of groups that enjoy talking about this kind of stuff. So I just go online and join other people and chat about random stuff. Like yesterday, I was with the Secular Rarity and Richard Gilliver. We talk about consciousness and morality and all kinds of brain stuff too. So it was fun.
Oh shit. Tab said, can you see us? Tab said
What?
we
Yeah.
vanished. I was like,
That
wait.
I said that like
Oh,
20 minutes ago,
Okay,
Maya.
cool.
oh,
All right.
Yeah.
That was the last thing. I was looking at my thing. I heard a ping and then I saw
Oh no, yeah,
your
no.
thing and then I looked over and I'm like, oh shit.
Because I
Okay.
was typing. No, I was typing to chat.
Yeah, okay, you're typing. Okay. Cool. So holy shit. All right. So yeah. Oh, that's because AJ was off. So let's get you back in here. That's because you like left and came back in
I'm
through a
here.
different link, remember? So,
Boom.
hi.
Okay, there we go.
All right. So yeah, we're talking about Jordan Peterson and sigh. It's kind of like KTA was saying, like psychology is doing a lot of work here. Um, I have a master's degree in behavioral psychology. I am not a psychologist. I'm not. Nothing that gets said tonight is us diagnosing this crazy ass fucker. Me calling him a crazy ass fucker is just a correct opinion. It is not a diagnosis.
Individual opinion, but of the group.
And also like I because I'm really big on not doing the whole like diagnosing from the side chat, or if you're not someone's doctor, we're not giving medical advice. That is never what we do here. We're just denouncing bad information like we always do, and I don't want my degree or however well I assert myself to come off as if I am an authority figure on anything. If I'm doing anything, I am regurgitating the consensus of the medical, or sorry, medical, um, the data in this psychology sector. I am, or a lot sometimes here because he is going off on a lot of random tangents. It might be biology, it might be medical, but it's. I'm never trying to say you should believe my opinion over his opinion. Um, we should read the data and trust. When I say trust the science, I don't mean trust the scientist. What I mean is that data, like how did the scientists get here, and trust the facts. That's what we're saying. Tat, do you
Yeah,
science?
no.
What do
Yeah,
you
for
you know what I'm trying to say?
yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, I was gonna like remark like, wow, Maya, you're doing all of these like qualifications of everything we're gonna say and like exactly how people should interpret it and how they shouldn't interpret it because I don't want to say anything that's technically wrong. I was like, that it's very Vandy-esque.
I mean, again, we're kind of in my wheelhouse, so I don't want.
Yeah, you get the more you get in your own wheelhouse,
Yeah,
the
the more you're
more
just like,
specific you are about how,
yes,
like, okay, well, you shouldn't necessarily take, me
right.
for granted on all of these related things until we get to that one core at the beginning when it's like, no, you're just like,
Yeah, I
that's
mean, like, if you
how
wouldn't
it
take
happens.
anything as dogma, it's that he is wrong.
Yeah.
And outside of that, sure.
Right.
I,
Yeah, but I mean,
I,
this is kind of like writing an article, okay? Like, we're not saying that we're the ultimate knowers of all things. Like we're just passing on the information that other people who have done the work have
Yeah.
done the work. Okay, we're just like
Yeah.
communicating it. Like
So
I'm not
So
a
I
professional.
actually, real quick before we get started, though, I do want to thank Mark Agamotto, who has membership milestone, as Tap likes to remind me, for 7 months. We also have Al Trucker, who has been a member for 9 months. Holy shit! Um, Gentlemen, please enjoy your tapioca weasels, your nitties and vaginas. And then your hooligan, like not sure where in here it is, but I do want to thank you, hooligan, Justin coming through. And we need to get Justin on the show at some point next year. But
yeah, but after the show, we actually have to talk about
yeah, we will
how
do
hard it
all of the things. But Justin gave us 10 cultists. Holy shit. What do I want to hear? Here we go. And those went to Austin Sims, Aaron Colson, Johnny, Doc Dino, friend of the show, Jake, insert clever dapper dino joke here, Nelson, Lieutenant Fitz of Rage, Julie McGuire, Tyler West, and Dwayna Campion. Please enjoy your tapioca weasels, your nitties, and vaginas. Your hooligan has also been a member for 8 months, so welcome back on in. And Dr. Tapioca Weasel has been a member for 10 months and has gifted himself 5 cultists, which is so nice
very
of you.
self-serving.
Very self-serving. Where are you at? All right, and those went to TK Hecklick, Robert Madewell, Scott Duke, DJ Rad. Well, Scott Duke is friend of the show. DJ Rat Girl Tika. Yeah, I think that's it. Thank you, and to yourself, I guess.
Thank you.
And new
I appreciate it.
cultist. New cultists, please enjoy your tapioca weasels, your nitties, and vagina. And for $2, Daedalus says, "Are magnets woke?"
It not technically. He doesn't technically say that. Okay, and normally I would not take advantage of a spelling mistake, but in this case, these are magents. Are magents woke? And the answer is I don't know what a magent is. Hashtag dodged.
Well, because we're so late in the stream, I will let it go. All
Yeah,
right.
we haven't started. I haven't even done my video thing. I'll blitz through it really quick. The title of the video is Jordan Peterson Best Moments. It's not ideal. Sorry, chat. The channel is Clash of Ideas, and they have a cool 77.2 thousand subscribers.
How many
Why is
people have
reality
watched
like
this?
this? And the number of people who have watched this over the last 7 years is 8.1 million.
Yeah.
That's the problem. That's the problem. It's
Yeah.
like
There's so many problems.
misinformation and disinformation. It just spreads like wildfire. And then you
Mhm.
try and do some damage control and try to spread like
The,
reality. And it's like maybe you get 10 views.
the top
Right,
comment
right. Yeah.
the top comment on the video I have highlighted here, and I'm sure they disagree with us, but I don't disagree with them necessarily. Arguing with someone smart is difficult. Arguing with someone stupid is impossible.
Mm.
All right, shall
Yeah,
we?
so these people, and it's so funny because I watched this first clip and I was just like, are they
Oh
making
God.
fun of Jordan Peterson? And it's just like, no, they think that this the person in this first clip that is interviewing Peterson is one of those woke moralists or whatever, and I'm like,
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean,
wow.
the chat, yeah.
Work moralists. What is that even?
Oh, so when he got kicked out of Twitter, couple of years ago. He's back now that Elon is,
Mm, shocker.
Nazifying
Eloning.
the site. Yeah. But he said something. I want probably about trans people, and
Mm.
Twitter was like, "Yeah, no," and he got kicked off. And so he did just this epic rant of him just crying
Oh,
about
I heard about that.
all the
It's
woke
like nearly,
people.
yeah.
Up
Mhm.
yours, woke moralist. We'll see who laughs last. And I'm like, oh my god, here's some TP for your bunghole, you big bitch. He likes to cry.
He just wanted like his 15 minutes of fame, I guess,
He's
with
getting
a
more of
side of
that.
tears.
No. He had to go online and give
Yeah,
us
yeah.
what's for.
Well, he will demonstrate what he will do.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but
Have
it's
any
the
comments on the
same
Nazi?
method. Yes, the same method that the president-elect, that shall be unnamed, uses. Like just this sensationalist type of messaging like it's usually very hateful. Anything that's hateful, they eat it up. They're just like, oh yeah, we're the oppressed ones. The Christians are being oppressed. The anti-white agenda. It's like, man.
All right, let's go.
Presence at your protest. The presence of Nazis and white supremacists assaulting people at your protest. Do you have any comment on that?
Whoa, this is fast. How fast is this
It
going?
is. That's only 1.25. I'll bring it down to.
For this one, we can do it later, but she does talk fast
Then
because
why?
to get his attention, or because he's trying to walk away and she's trying to.
He's not trying to walk away in this part.
Supremacists assaulting people at your protest. Do you have any comment on that?
Wait, can you push that back a little bit from the beginning?
Okay.
I want to go talk to Peterson. Peterson, do you have any comments on the Nazi presence at your protest? The presence of Nazis and white supremacists assaulting people at your protest. Do you have any comment on that?
Yeah, I don't like Nazis.
Then why are you?
Why were they here? Well, how can I answer
Are there views in alignment with yours?
I want to make. I
Go
want to
ahead.
make. I want to make sure that the chat is able to hear what he's saying.
Yeah. Yeah. So she said, "Do you have any comments on the Nazi presence at your, at your thing?"
Protest.
And he was like, "I don't like Nazis." I mean,
Yeah.
Is that all you gotta say? Like it's a protest.
I guess you could say that's denouncing Nazis, but like,
Oh, he's going to be asked to denounce the Nazis, though.
no, I get that, but like,
So,
okay,
is
I can
he?
like, let's just say you two were Nazis, and I'm just like, I don't like Nazis. But as the saying goes, if a Nazi feels comfortable in your presence at your party, you're at a Nazi party. You're not doing anything to disavow the behavior. And the things that you're saying are not off-putting to Nazis. Like, holy shit.
Yeah, like not speaking up against it is pretty much saying, oh yeah, it's cool. I'll let it slide.
And we will come back to this because there's reasons that Nazis are comfortable and that he has a high ratio of Nazis following him. But
I'm not shocked by that
he
at
just,
all.
yeah. Like if people told me that, like, hey, Maya, have you noticed there's a lot of Nazis in your chat? I'd like to say I wouldn't have this nonchalant attitude about it.
Right? Or like at least you will do a little bit of self-reflection, like, hey, what am I doing that is attracting all these Nazis into my chat? Right? What can I do
Yeah, I
to
wouldn't
prevent that?
convert to a religion that is highly Nazi friendly just to keep them around and get them to pay me more money. Like, I would like to think that is beneath me.
Why were they here? Well, how can I answer?
Are there views in alignment with yours? At some point, you
I
have to
think that's a
realize.
foolish question. Look, if you want to know what
Why are they here? How can I answer that? Are their views in alignment with yours?
Why are they
that's
here?
a foolish question. Dude, you can say that after you say no, fucking no. Like,
I mean,
it's
okay,
one syllable.
it's his. They're there because he's doing a presentation. Why are they here? They're here to see you. They are here to listen to you talk because there's something about what you're saying that aligns with their ideals. Now, it's not to say that, like, okay, some Nazis are in all different fields of science, are, like to listen to Led Zeppelin and, do X, Y, and Z. But, like, there's not a high number of Nazis that self-ID as Nazis and go to do those things, like it.
Yeah, like if you found like one or two or three, okay, but like it's like probably the majority of his audience there that was gonna be, they're gonna be Nazis. So it's like,
I don't know that so I know a lot of people. I've met a lot of people that like Jordan Peterson, and I
mhm.
have a lot of issues with them, but they aren't Nazis, so I will push back on that. I don't think that that
No,
the
no, 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 no.
majority of
Nobody is
people would
saying.
well, no.
Whoa. Okay. Look, let's take it here. We're not saying that everybody that follows Jordan Peterson are Nazis. We're not saying that all Republicans are Nazis. We're just saying that a high number of them choose to engage in those.
I just wanted because it sounded like AJ was saying that more than half of the people at this event were probably self-identified Nazis, and like I just don't think that society that universities.
I don't know what. I don't know what. Yeah, I don't know what this is or how many people even went, but I don't know. I don't want to speak for you.
More like what I mean is like if more than one or two are showing up that self-identify as Nazis, then you're gonna want to be like, okay, hey, why are these people here? Am I doing or saying something that is
so much?
Yeah.
Like the why do Nazis like me so much reaction is a healthy one.
No, yes. Yes, that is. I'll give him that. If in fact that's where
he doesn't have it. I'm saying that he should have it, but he he has the reaction, but he doesn't have the instinct. Like he has to get prompted for this to come up.
What's wrong with Nazis?
Yeah, I mean, like my take on it was like if there is a protest there going on saying, hey, there is a large group of Nazis here, then that means that these people are recognizing that there's more than one or two that are attending. I don't think it's gonna be like a very low number of them.
Maya, when the topic of conversation is Nazis, you can't highlight a chat that just says "me!" exclamation point from 20 minutes ago because
it was 10 minutes ago. But
my point is valid even if it just happened.
Yeah, like I don't have any Nazis in my chat, and then I highlight. I think this is me. I think it's hilarious.
Goddamn. None of our chat is Nazi.
No. I don't think that Nazis would feel comfortable in my chat. Even if I were a cishet white guy. If all of us were, all things being the same, I think Nazis would still feel uncomfortable being here.
Yeah, I mean, they got like a Hispanic woman over here, a woman of color. They probably like burst into flames or something.
I'm pretty sure, yeah. I mean, the only Nazis I've seen come through here came in long enough to troll, not timed out, but banned by the mods, and Nazis don't stay long.
That's a good sign.
My views are.
I've watched all of your videos, yes.
Including...
Yes, I have.
Yeah. Then why would you ask such a question?
Because this is my interpretation of your videos.
Apparently,
all of the people who arranged the protest against you watched all of your videos.
It's like, do you want to disavow 150 videos on YouTube?
No, your lectures, which sparked the debate.
Okay, so at this point, they've said that they watch his videos, and he's like, "There's no way you've watched my videos." And they're like, everybody who like attends your things like watches your videos. We're not just doing this because our like buddies are dragging us there. Like that's the argument. Yeah.
I want to disavow the support. Could you let me talk to her for a moment?
Don't call me that, please.
So, I have 150 lectures on YouTube. There's 500 hours of my views.
Do you really think that you're worth all of that time?
So look, I will answer your question.
Like, damn.
He thinks very highly of himself.
He
That right
does.
there.
He really does. He has. I don't know. I can't get anybody that I can't find any sources that have verified this. So I can be wrong though. Like I haven't read all of the internet, but Jordan Peterson says that he has 150 IQ, which is why you should listen to him in all of his opinions because I be big brain, so I'm obviously right.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
not buying it
Well,
until
we
I
all
see
have
it.
a 151 IQ. Jordan, prove us wrong. So you guys should all listen to us.
Well, I actually have test results that do prove
Shut
that
up.
wrong. They're
God,
no
you are so
meta.
grifting badly.
Yeah, I try to be honest, Maya.
But why? Why? Did you not see who we are showcasing here tonight? For $5, Left-Handed Jedi says, please consult your manual before operating your device and try not to wake your neighbors.
What type of vibrator do you own?
A very loud
Only the
one, I
best
guess.
one.
I mean, all right, fair enough. I will say though,
It's
pointing out that
clearly a joke. Nobody believes that we have a 151 IQ. God.
I will say I'm so sorry I have to do this. But pointing out that you and everybody that attend these things has watched all of his videos, and then also saying, do you really think that you deserve all that time or attention when he says I have 500 hours of content is like not a great look.
Yeah.
I will give you that, but it was a great
It was
joke.
a good like yeah, but not on the heels
okay,
of
it's
what
like
they were saying.
okay. So she's saying, you have a bunch of Nazis here. It's like I don't know why there are Nazis here. I don't like Nazis, and then
Yes.
they were like, something. Everybody here is like, why do you think they're here? They're watching you and what you're saying. And he said, I don't think that everybody has watched all of my content. I have 150 videos on YouTube, which is like 550 hours worth of stuff. And I think her point is, yeah, why are you putting all this out? Do you really think you're worth 550 hours of watch time? So, I mean, it's not, I see what you're saying, but I mean, as far as like,
yeah,
the conversation goes, it's not a bad point.
I get that. I was just bringing up the obvious counterpoint because
no, I hear you because you are over generous with grifters. We've been through this.
Why do I have to be such a white guy?
I don't know, but I
I've studied
will
Nazism
point
for
out.
a very long time. It's been fun.
Man, maybe you shouldn't study Nazism like that for such a long time. It sounds like a real bummer and like it rubbed off badly on you a little bit, just saying.
I mean, you would think that if he actually has studied Nazis, like I have not studied Nazis. It's just like something I do in passing because like I'm a news junkie and you pick up certain things from watching the news these days.
Like Nazism?
Like Nazism, yeah. And
I guess
you would
think about what news we're watching in this example. Yeah.
So you would think that if he spent any amount of time, quote unquote, researching this, that he would know not to say half the shit he says because he's leaning into Nazi propaganda. And everybody who has studied Nazi propaganda says this about him. But that's just me. I'm sure he's not a lying grifter.
But
he'd be big-brained.
He has a doctor of doctorology.
Oh yeah,
and that. Oh, see the doctor, gotcha.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's a doctor.
Mm-hmm. That makes him an expert.
This is what I'm banking on.
And I understand it very well. And I can tell you that there's some awful people lurking in the corners, and they're ready to come out. And if the radical left keeps pushing the way
that sounds very much like a threat.
They're going to come.
That sounds very much like a threat. That sounds very much like a threat. Would you like to disavow the physical violence?
I mean, yeah, no, it's not a threat. I have people lurking in the corners. He says, as his hands are like coming at your neck, like it could sound and look threatening. It could be perceived that way. I'm just saying.
You're right, it can be. I don't think that's the most reasonable way of perceiving it.
I mean, okay, you think that he was looking directly at her or them.
I think he's saying that
And
there'd be crazy people out there, which, like, we're talking about Nazis, so yes.
She's calling him on his behavior. They, God damn it. They are calling him on his behavior. And he then tells them to watch their back as he is staring into their eyes with his hands motioning towards them. Like, they need to watch their back, people of mine, minions of mine who are clearly watching this conversation.
Yeah.
It's not I'm not saying that's what was going on in his head. I'm saying that it could be
but body language,
for the person that is being spoken to. It can easily be perceived that way.
Yeah, body language matters. Like when you're speaking, like right now, if I'm using my hands, I'm like aggravated. Okay,
I'm aggravated and very intense.
If I was just like this and saying something like what he said, with your arms crossed, okay. But if you're saying it like you're saying with your hands out towards the person in an intense way, yeah.
Yeah, I'm clearly shaken up. Like he looks aggravated and like, you're annoying me. He clearly doesn't agree with what they're saying.
I mean, that.
Yeah, I think he was just like asserting dominance, maybe something like that.
And again, I'm not saying this is what he's doing, but as AJ just said, body language matters, and for them to say, it seems like you're threatening me. I don't think that. Even though I think it is clear that they are being very glib. They're being very glib. I'm sorry, go ahead. I cut you off.
That's not true. I totally cut you off. My sentence completely started in the middle of like your third sentence. So like at no point did you cut me off there.
I'm doing a lot of talking. I know they're being very glib, but it doesn't negate from, and I say this to my employees all the time. If somebody is doing something that appears threatening to you, your perception matters. You have every right to just put them on notice, just like, hey, you seem kind of upset. I don't feel comfortable moving forward with this conversation. Yeah. Why don't you talk to me when you calm down and then walk away? And if they keep engaging, come get me. They're not going to keep up when they're doing this. And a lot of times it's enough to just put them, if they don't understand how they're coming across. But
they care, but they actually care on some, if you have some type of shame response, and I mean that in like a good way.
Right.
Shame can serve a valuable role. It can also get out of hand and be very, very toxic.
Sure.
But like when if for example, in this conversation, I had not really appreciated his body language. That wasn't something that I think about. I'm a big, very tall white dude who doesn't really worry about people just suddenly being violent against me. It's not something that happens. But you're right. And it reminded me of a conversation, of a session that I once had with my therapist a couple of years back, where I got really animated and I was upset and I started to get, pretty loud. This was over a video call, by the way. And wow. I got I started talking loudly and I was gesticulating and everything. And the next session, she was like, yo, if that had happened in person, I would have felt scared of you. And I would have asked you to leave. It didn't. It was over video, so it was a good thing. That's what would have happened. Mm-hmm. it was a big wake up call because I have never I've never struck somebody
Hmm.
to like hurt them that wasn't one of my siblings, and even then not since I've become an adult.
Yeah.
So
I don't think that men understand what it's like
which is my
living
point. Yeah.
as a woman. And hey, there's 75 of you here. Hit that thumbs up. Um,
I'm
you know
four
what I
eight. I'm
what
four
I
eight. I'm tiny. I'm the size of a 12-year
oh,
old. So it's like
Oh,
I
I'm
get
you're
it.
six
a, you're
five.
you're like adorable size. That is so cool. So yeah, my so I said to my ex-husband once, because like he would when he got angry, like a certain level of angry, I would just like leave the room. And I once I had actually left the house, and I'm like, I'm not, because he was following me around, and I'm like, I don't feel comfortable. Like, you're not listening to me at this point. I'm going to leave until you calm down. And oh my god, that like I can't believe I came home to a roof on my house. So, um, but what I said to him was, you know, men live don't understand what it's like to live as a woman. Every woman is very well aware that we only come and go because you allow it.
Yeah.
And he was just like, I don't think that's true. And I'm like, okay, fine. I understand that I was allowed to leave the house that night because you don't want to go to jail. But outside of that, like, be like just physically, like if he had decided that I wasn't leaving the house, I wasn't leaving the house. My will was not important. And that is what we as women deal with, like just on a baseline level. And I mean, it's, what do you call it? Bad Science Sunday. We try to stay light here, but I just for the men out
Thank
there, because
God.
I know I have a lot of cishet white men out there. I just want you to understand, like when
Where?
women aren't exaggerating. So I'm not a woman having an argument with you right now. I hoping you'll be a little more amenable to hearing what I have to say. And it's not like we're scared of you, and I'm not one of those women that would choose the bear, but it is
Thank
an
you for
under.
the record. Like
I've said this to you.
you absolutely have, but like it
And I'm not
that is
taking that away
um
from any other woman. However, I stand with the women too who would choose the bear. I get it. I get it. It's a weird world out there. Um, and because you don't mean to be scary or threatening doesn't mean that you haven't been, or that other men
yes.
who have scared and or threatened us in the past haven't done exactly what you're doing right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
and I don't think. Yeah, sorry. Go ahead, please.
I was just gonna say, I the transition from something that is like the normal behavior that a criminal or a predator might use, and then where it transitions from that and like just genuinely being like a nice normal person to then the actual like luring you in an abusive part is hard to recognize. It's hard to recognize when somebody's like being nice and like maybe they're just like trying to make me feel comfortable, whereas they're being nice because like most people are like not most people try to like be nice if it costs them nothing.
Hmm.
Yeah. When I was like 15 or 16, I went to the grocery store with I will always remember this situation. I went to the grocery store with my mom, and she was out looking at something, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna go grab some snacks. So I walk away by myself, and then one of the guys that restocks the shelves walks up to me and starts talking and asking if I needed anything. And at first I thought, oh, he's genuinely being nice and trying to be helpful. And I was like, oh, I'm looking for this or that, whatever. Like at first I engaged the conversation because like I said, I thought he was just trying to be helpful.
Yep.
And then it became more and more pushy. Like, "Oh, are you here by yourself?" Like those type of questions that became more threatening to me. And eventually he started following. After I kind of cut off the conversation and walked away, I noticed him like following me around the store. So it's like,
Ugh.
for us women, for young girls, even like I probably looked about 12 at the time too. Okay,
Yeah.
I was like, and this was like a 30-year-old that walked up to me. So it's like
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
we have to constantly be on alert. Constantly be on alert.
Constantly, yeah. I mean, and whether or not we have to constantly be, we feel the need to constantly be. And again, it's nothing against you individually, men, but when we're saying things to you, we're not making shit up. It's just a totally different experience for us than it is for you. That's my only point.
Yeah, and at the
I
same time, I know so many men that will defend me to death by
Mhm.
from somebody else. So it's like, no, definitely it's not every single man, and I know that
No,
would be the
certainly
case
not.
for other
and
women.
And, when a man is being weird, like, who am I looking for? A man I trust. And
Right.
I have a lot of those. So,
it, and like I was thinking that like the thing that men immediately go to suggesting in this situation is the and I think it is generally a fact that like if you just go to a random other like guy and be
mhm.
like, "Hey, this guy's bothering me,"
Oh,
like
yeah. I've done
you get
that.
some
Not
pretty
always.
strong reactions, but
Hmm.
it really helps if you can ask like three of them that like don't know each other all at once,
Really?
because then
Never thought about that.
think about it. Like if you can get on a bus or something, if somebody's
Hmm.
being creepy and you can get on a bus, one, now you're on a bus, there's a camera, that's great. And you can just ask like people just forthright and be like, "Hey, this
No, I remember
person
this one
is
time I was in a
bothering me."
club and this guy was like
But
hitting on me and I wasn't feeling him. And then like back in the day when you could bring
yeah,
cigarettes in buildings. And he like looked away and a cigarette like burned me in my arm. And I was like, ow. And he was like, oh God, I'm sorry. And so the guy on the other side of me took the cigarette out of his hand, threw it on the floor and stomped on it. That's not how you treat a lady. I was like, okay.
yeah, and like I've had this has only happened like once or twice, and it was in college when I was like at a party and we were all like fairly drunk, so I don't really remember the details super well. But I have had women suddenly like pretend to know me to
Yeah.
like get the weird creepy guy that's right there being
Yeah.
all weird and creepy to like go away. And
Yeah, wait, that's actually, I don't know if you know about this, but this is a advice that we give to each other. It's like,
yeah,
I mean, we have an understanding that the weird, creepy guys are the minority, and that
it,
at random, a guy is more apt to act chivalrous. At least in I'm Gen Z, so
it,
I have found this to be true. I don't know what the alphas and the
oh god.
betas and the what those guys are doing. It seems to be a new world down there, but I believe for Gen Z and millennials, I've found that to be true. Um, but moving on, for $2, Daddyless says, has Dr. T reckoned with his magnet chatters?
No, no. And the reason for this is because Maya doesn't let me rule with an iron mod fist.
Oh God, he gets like this sometimes, and then I have to remind him from time to time,
Stop it. Get some help.
and eventually it comes around.
Okay. Hopefully.
Sorry, Mom.
There we go.
All right, let's move on.
And I understand it very well. And I can tell you that there's some awful people lurking in the corners, and they're ready to come out. And if the radical left keeps pushing the way
That
it's
sounds
pushing,
very much like a
they're
threat.
going to come.
That sounds very much
That's
like
not
a
a
threat.
threat.
That sounds very much like a threat. Would you like to disavow the physical violence? Trans people were physically assaulted at this rally in your name. Would you like to disavow that violence?
Yes.
So you wish that didn't happen?
Wait, who
and
said
you want-
yes?
and
Did
I-
he say yes?
Yes, he did say yes.
He did say,
say
okay.
yes. I would
Yeah,
like
I
to
could barely
disavow
hear
the
his
violence.
mouth move. I was like, man, that's an enthusiastic yes.
Would you
By
like to
the
disavow
way,
that?
guys, if you're looking to have sex with a woman, you might want a little more enthusiastic yes than that.
Yeah.
Like, would you like to have sex with me? Yes.
Sure. If you insist.
I mean, if you're gonna wear me down like this, God.
Violence.
Yes.
So you wish that didn't happen, and you want to.
Absolutely.
And I'm going to post this online that you would like people to not to be more accommodating of trans people and people of color at your events in future.
I would
I'm
like
a
there
person
to
of
be
color.
no
Listen,
violence.
I'm a person of color, and I felt very accommodating here. I felt like my voice.
Oh
Thank
my
you.
God. Okay, so I need to look, people of color, if you happen to be out there. I understand. The skeptic community needs to do a better job of, and I do too. This is my chat. I can only blame myself, but goddamn.
You can blame me. You can always blame me.
Oh yeah, closest man. Oh, you're over there. Closest man. It's totally his fault. I don't have more black people in my chat.
I will talk over here.
Good call, because we're about a clause and a half away from the reparations conversation.
No, you gave some reparations earlier today. Good boy.
I love reparations.
But I just want to take this moment to remind everyone that people of color are not a monolith. And just because you feel comfortable in a Nazi party doesn't mean that everyone of color does or should feel comfortable at your Nazi party, or even that you should, really. If your friend uses asinine, bullshit like, alphabet community, or allows you to say the N-word, it doesn't mean that they're saying that everybody in every community is going to give you the green light on saying these things or doing the thing, or that they don't have a right to their opinions, because, again, not a monolith. And I've noticed that people on the left really don't do this. It's always people on the right who is just like, wait, I'm a person of color, and I say that this, crazy person is A-okay. And that, like, is supposed to lend credence on behalf of the whole, Muslim community, Indian community, Black community for, their abject racism.
Yeah, like, I was thinking about that. Like, it does seem to be a very asymmetrically used technique.
That's all I'm saying. Yeah, very concise. Thank you.
Asymmetrical is, yeah, that about covered it.
Yeah.
If you like this guy
I'm a person of color. There are many Muslims of
You
color.
wanted to disavow. You wanted to disavow, and this is the disavowal. I am not an advocate of violence. I'm speaking out the way I'm speaking out because I think this is a route to no violence. And violence is lurking. And you can say that sounds like a threat.
There was
It's
no
not a
violence at
threat.
our protest, though. There was violence at your protest. So what does that say about our views?
It's not my protest. You know, asking me continually freighted questions isn't very helpful if you actually want to have a dialogue. You have no idea if I'm your enemy. You have no idea about me.
You won't use
Nothing.
my pronouns, so I'm pretty sure you're my enemy, yes.
Yeah, well, I know you think that, but I don't believe that using your pronouns is going to do you any good in the long run.
Well, thank God we have your condescending ass, carrying your white man's burden.
I mean, it's interesting for sure. And I know he believes that, or I know he says that a lot, at least.
I think he believes it.
I thought it was interesting that he was like, well, violence is, what word did he use? Lurking or
yeah, everywhere.
Yeah.
I'm totally cool with the violence. Violence is inevitable, but me using your pronouns, that certainly is not, because, it's not like we have any research, showing that that's beneficial or anything. What the fuck?
Think that, but I don't believe that using
use alternate pronouns
is going to do you any good in the long run.
By the way, the format of this particular video is it's a medley of individual clips. There isn't an overall like narrative or narrator, anybody tying it together. Literally just Jordan Peterson best moments. So
Okay, one second
All
before you
right,
move
can
on to
I
that. Oh,
actually real
yeah.
quick? I need to call out the annoying Goyim because they've been timed out, and next time
Oh,
you're getting hidden, and I'm allowing my mods to do this. We respect one another's pronouns here. There's actually, if any of the mods want to put the link to the transpositions, there's a lot of science, peer-reviewed science on gender affirming care, and we'll talk about the social contract and all that. But we're not speaking of pronouns disparagingly here. And if it bothers you, you're free to leave. You're also free to shut the fuck up. And those are really your two options if you don't want to get banned. So those are chat rules. You have to respect pronouns. There will be no discussion on that. And I'm sorry, AJ, I cut you off.
no, you're good. You're good. You're fine. No, but I was also going to add something regarding the pronouns that he's like, well, it's not going to help you in the long run. But as somebody who allegedly has Jordan Peterson a degree in psychology and who has apparently worked in professional psychology settings, you would think that he will know that there is a benefit to using somebody's pronouns. That thing that he said is just bullshit. You will think.
You would think for somebody who, reads a lot and is very well aware of the science, it's like, God, I would love to do a stream on like trusted sources, and I don't know how to make it funny, but we have like a really bad like it just I don't know if it's in what do you call it like America or worldwide, but nobody knows what a valid source is or what should be considered a valid source on a given topic. They seem to think that, hey, I'm an engineer, therefore I'm qualified to tell you that the earth is flat. It's like totally reasonable. And leads us here where, Jordan Peterson, a PhD in psychology, can tell you that climate change is fake.
Is that one
Yeah.
of the later ones in this episode? Because I didn't.
Oh
watch.
no, it's just one of I don't know if it. I can't remember if it's here or not. I know that it's
I
what
don't
he's.
remember it coming up.
I know that he's said it, and it's just been like.
Yeah.
But I'm on. I have been on Twitter a lot. Not recently, but he's made my feed quite a few times.
Long enough to have heard all the bullshit.
Shall we go?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
But would you use alternate pronouns if a student asked you to?
I think I've made my position on that clear already.
Well, perhaps not to our audience at home who are just being introduced to this. Would you use alternate pronouns? And why not?
It's such a long syllable, that one word, no? Like, I think I've made my position on this clear already. There is a time and a place to use that, but it's like when the exact same question has been asked in a row in a conversation like 3 times.
I mean, and you're on a news show. They're asking you about your opinion, and it's just like, oh, I've talked about that in the past.
Yeah, no, like
okay, to our audience.
Exact. Which is why the response from the anchor perfect, because he was kind of like, just, are you serious right now? Like, this is not a trick question. Like, just like this is literally
no, and he's doing this because he knows like this probably, I don't know what this is, but it's probably like a really big show with like national attention, and he's crying about something that he's just objectively wrong on. He thinks that there was a law in, I don't know, do I have any Maple Landers here? There was like a Canadian law where that asked people to respect other people's pronouns. And I don't know, in his mind,
in certain
people were just going to be thrown in jail and put to the guillotine if they if they accidentally used the wrong pronoun. He went off. It was like, these are like the things that are making my Twitter feed at the time. And it's just ridiculous. So they're bringing this up because he's like a fucking man baby. Like, just like, you know, come on, let's talk this out. And he's just like, oh no, I've said this before. And you're not elaborating now because you know you're wrong.
It's ironic though because he wants to be able to force people to not use the pronouns, but then he's like, well, I'm just gonna force you to be monogamous.
Yeah, I know, totally cool with forcing women into slavery, but you know, me using, you know, your pronouns, like well, if
Let's
a
not force
woman,
that.
okay, if a man wants to take a woman and change her name, I will remember that. That is totally a-okay for me. But using, you know, she instead of he or he instead of she, like, holy fuck, like that, I just, how could it possibly?
Well, because it's in a book.
It's not in a book.
Because
it's not
I
in
don't
any
believe
of
that
the
other
books.
people have the right
They
to
are
determine what.
making shit up. It's
No,
not in
I
any.
meant the Bible. I meant the Bible.
It's not in the Bible. It's so not in the Bible.
Yeah, it's just not even.
It's not. And
anything is not mentioned in the Bible.
No,
Yeah.
it says men should wear men's clothing. Dr. Ben is a man who wears men's clothing. Ta-da!
I'm a man who wears man's clothing.
Yep.
But trans women
are women who wear women's clothing.
Wear man's clothing.
Yeah. So if
women, it's very easy.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that hard. Trans people are abiding by biblical law, but bigots don't like things not being very black and white. Like, if you have a penis, you should be a man. Well, you are a man, and you should wear men's clothing. And you know, it's kind of like when creationists are like, well, birds can't be dinosaurs because that would be a change of kind. And the Bible doesn't say that kinds can change. So evolution is fake. It's just like, no, this isn't how things work. We did this thing because we thought this is how things worked. And then we learned more information and we found out that we were wrong. And now we are acclimating so that we can be closer to the truth. And if you would just come on board, life would be so much easier for all involved. No, life is difficult for me. I shall make it difficult for you. Okay.
It's pretty simple. I mean, like, just having specific body parts shouldn't determine what type of fabric you cover it with, okay? Like, if you're in an accident and you lose your arm, then it doesn't mean that suddenly you can never ever wear a long sleeve again, does it? It's pretty easy.
No, but if you're Christian, I don't know, like, it just, no, it's we can't have nuance. It has to say Christian. I don't hashtag not all Christians, just like hashtag not all men. It's just this very anal strain of evangelical Christian that, and I mean, because, and I say that specifically because hashtag not all evangelicals, like, honestly. And I'm not trying to apologize for evangelicals, but like, it's really hard to find any group that's a monolith. And there's a lot of people who are just like, you know what, like, you're right, it's not in the Bible. I'm not going to fight this. And you know, I'm not going to invite you over for dinner either, but I'm not going to like traumatize you every time I see you.
Yeah.
And it's really not that hard. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Especially when it's backed by because I don't believe that other people have the right to determine what language I use, especially when it's backed by punitive legislation. And when the words that are being required are the constructions, they're artificial constructions of people I regard as radical ideologues whose viewpoint I do not share.
And Bill.
Right back at you, buddy.
Yeah.
And it
Radical
just,
ideologies. Yeah.
yeah, and he does this. It's just like, oh no, like being trans is just a viewpoint. But he's done. He's seen the studies. He's read. He's researched.
C16 is actually not about cisgender people. It's about protections for transgender people. And that's not, it's not about Jordan Peterson. So, we should have people learning to listen more. We have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a very good reason. When things get political, I like to ask who benefits and who gets to decide the rules of the game. So, mostly with this Peterson controversy, which is really just a small drama, a tempest in a teapot, he could just get over learning to program a few pronouns into his phone. By the way, I only have half a dozen or so that I actually use on an everyday basis, so it's not all that difficult.
Professor Peterson, sorry, Professor Peterson, you can jump in because I think Professor Peterson wants to get in on that.
Yeah, well, kindness is the excuse that social justice warriors use when they want to exercise control over what other people think and say. So, if we're bandying back and forth.
Kindness is the excuse.
I was going to, exactly that quote. I was like, whoa.
When they went
to exercise control.
Control, yeah. It's not, and this is what I was talking about again with like the social contract. It's like, I was a Dillahunty is always saying, your right to swing your arms ends at my nose. Mm-hmm. I guess you could call that a kindness. But like, I should be able to swing what he's saying is like, this is too much. I should be able to swing my arms. I have a God-given right to swing my arms. And you saying that me being, me hurting your nose is,
You're right. You're right. I will say though, Maya, mm-hmm. that the way that you just articulated that mm-hmm. Does run into free speech issues.
How?
Because it depends on what you're going to say in terms of how things like should be enforced. And
how?
And so in this case, the distinction that is not being met here is that there is not a law that just requires people to like use pronouns. As far as I know, I don't know how Canada works. Okay, Canada is like
Canadian
a weird
law.
Magical. It's a weird magical, snow forest of whatever. There's caribou, I'm told,
and healthcare aplenty.
I don't even know what that is. Anyway, it's. I totally lost my train of thought.
You were saying that being nice is
infringing
on your First Amendment somehow.
Yeah, I don't think that's what I was saying.
Nobody here knows what you were saying, and we all want to jump on you. So
yeah,
I need you to finish that sentence so I can cut you up properly. I would not want to because I have the words, they're all lined up. I just want to know what order I should put them in.
I don't know. I never learned English grammar properly. Okay, everything I know about English grammar,
I totally got this. Finish your sentence, and they're going to come out in the proper order. I promise.
I feel like this is a trap.
Probably.
I think so.
Our differences in values, I would say that the highest possible value is truth, and that one of the concomitants is that we need stringent protection for freedom of speech so that we can utter the truths that we see fit. And I think that that's a value that's much higher than kindness, for example.
Wait, what?
Truth. Yeah. Go ahead. I'm trying to piece the words together.
And I think that that's a value that's much higher than kindness, for example. I would say that the highest possible value is truth, and that one of the concomitants is that we need stringent protection for freedom of speech so that we can utter the truths that we see fit.
Is this what
And
you
I
were
think
trying
that
to
that's
say?
a value that's much higher than kindness, for example. I mean,
Wait,
I
so
mean,
there's no way to be truthful and kind?
No, that's not what well, maybe that is what he's saying. That's not what I'm saying. I would say that truth is a should be a very high value, but like you can be truthful and not be a dick, and he like utterly does not care about that. He just doesn't give a shit.
So, I mean, we all understand that what he's saying is men can't be women. So, you're just making this
Yeah,
law
yeah.
so
I
that I can
mean,
be nice to men who think they're women. And
that would be an application of what he's saying. Is not.
yeah, if he wasn't so fucking stupid.
It's just kind of hard to piece it together, the way that he
Right.
said it,
It's
because
like,
at first he was like, well, you should be able to honor any your truth or something like that, like basically saying that you should be able to lie or tell the truth. It doesn't matter as long as it's your truth.
yeah, okay, so here's my issue with this, right? His issue is that he wants to live in his ignorant, bigoted bliss. He doesn't want to have to conform to changing science or nuances in the social contract. I understand that no one more than management understands that change is hard for people and that people don't want to do it. God, change management is one of the hardest things to enforce. I hear him and I lack fucks. It's just so annoying right now. And I understand that like he has like old brain, and so it's harder to rewire shit, and it's also harder like when you have this like he's an egomaniac, so he has determined that he is right, therefore no one else can be right. And he's made this a public stance. He said it with his whole chest, and now he's out there. I feel like part of this is I don't know how to walk it back and still come out looking like, my dick, it hasn't been cut off by the woke moralist, but like, you're just wrong. Like there's nothing, when there is science to stand on, people stand on it. He's just like, no, it's opinion. I don't have to abide by it. Okay, well, it's law now. And you're like, at some point you're going to have to give, or find some science to give to your lawmakers so that they can change the law, like the rest of us have to do all
Yeah,
the
but
goddamn time.
he wants it to be his personal opinion to be the truth, and
Yeah.
for everybody to value that truth, which is actually his personal opinion, more than being kind, or more than having somebody else's well-being above that personal opinion of his. It's
Or
like,
like Mark Agamotto is saying here, behold the ground upon which I grow my fucks to give, and know that it is barren.
that it is.
Salty.
Mm.
Like
1
the
second,
ground.
sorry, mouthful of wine. Been holding this for 25 minutes. My unfinished journey for $6.66 says, Hail Nero and Hail Maya. And AJ. Thank you.
I think that you missed some words there, Maya.
Oh, sorry. Mouthful of wine. I'm, so sorry if I missed any words in there. Didn't mean to fuck up your sentence there, Unfinished Journey. But for $2, Jester, Lord of Nothing, says, how quick would Tap ban me if you let him? You're unbannable, Jester.
That doesn't answer the question. Okay, you can answer a hypothetical and not ever allow the hypothetical.
I don't know
They're
what you're
two different
talking
things.
about, and the play button isn't
The
playing.
girl.
Play button.
I mean, there's lots of situations in life where kindness in the immediate present is not the appropriate way to react at all.
But
So, for
Professor,
example, when you discipline children, you often hurt their
Why is that? That's not a great
feelings in the short term so that they can learn to behave properly in the medium to long term so that their lives go well. And so this automatic assumption that the people
Yeah, but we're talking about adults, not children.
on the social justice warrior side of the equation are motivated only by kindness when they're also clearly motivated by power.
Definition check. What is a social justice warrior? I wanna change my name.
So
I want like my first name to be social, my middle name to be justice, and my last name to be warrior.
that I can't endorse that.
I love it. Come on.
Maya, you'll get like assassinated. Okay.
No black woman in America. It's just
And
like,
also like I can't like
what? That is awesome. I might do that. How much? I think is it still $700 to change your name? I think I can do it for free if I get remarried. Ha. But no, I love this, like how they use social justice warrior as a like pejorative. It's just like a person who is on fire for social justice. Like that is the worst thing ever.
that's I mean social justice is terrible.
It's horrible. You know,
Absolutely.
who needs rights?
Who wants that?
I mean, I need rights, but y'all don't.
Oh, right. No, we're of course not. We're women. Like,
Thank you for understanding. I'm gonna press
holy
play
shit. For $2 though, my unfinished sock says, "Don't be a Nazi. Like and share the stream." I mean, that is sound advice. I like this unfinished sock.
I agree.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, 10 out of 10.
Can I comment on what we just watched for a second though? Because I was like,
Please do.
I was trying to hold my mouth closed while he said that sometimes kindness is not the correct thing to use at specific situations, and then he goes on to say, like when you're punishing your children, it's okay for them to hurt. I'm like, no, he did not say that.
I mean, which again is so old school, right?
I mean,
from the psychologist. I mean, I think that most of the parents here understand that we're past the point where we feel like we need to traumatize our children to get them to act right. You can have teachable moments whenever they are not properly integrated into society. You don't have to hit them or publicly, what do you call it?
Humiliate.
Thank you. Yes, that, you know, any of the things. Like you can just say, hey, no, that's not how we do that. This is what we do. And you can take the time to parent your child into a fully grown, emotionally available adult.
Yeah, because they're just like adults in training, basically. So, like, if you have conversations with them, if you communicate with them and you know explain, hey, this is why whatever just happened should have gone this way or that way, then they're going to reason, and they're not gonna be just like, oh, I'm gonna get beat because I don't know, I didn't finish my food, and then that's gonna create probably some bad eating habits, right? Or fear of eating or fear of somebody giving you food. It's like, no, don't traumatize your kid.
Or
Just like
obesity.
explain to them why they
Honestly,
need nutrition.
I know a lot of people who have eating, well, yeah, like they're say overweight, like have more overweight than they'd like to be because they just feel like even if I'm full, I still have to finish whatever's in front of me because of this like ingrained thing. And we restaurants, I don't know, they used to, at least used to over portion, well, we called Americanized food
Oh
portions.
yeah.
and it was leading to like mass obesity, from, and a lot of people were citing these things that parents did as they were children. Sometimes, I understand that you work hard, you spend a lot of money on your food. If the child doesn't want to eat something, um, it's not their fault that you put too much food on their plate. Like with my son, he didn't like to eat vegetables. So, I used to tell him, all right, you don't have to finish everything. Just give me 2 big bites. And he could do that for me, and then he'd leave. But I mean, because I still wanted I wanted to set the expectation of him eating vegetables, and now he does. But, at 5 years old, I was going to like beat him for not finishing.
Yeah.
Or like I heard like somebody told me that like their parent would put the same plate in front of them for like a week straight until it was like getting moldy. When it was visibly moldy, that's when they could throw it away or they had to eat it. And I'm like, this is child abuse. This is
That's
so
yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
But this is like this old school parenting that Peterson's coming from. Like he's not reading and it. Granted, it's hard. Nobody is expecting everybody to be like 100% on every aspect of their field. Like Dr. T is a physicist. He's very clear to say, I'm an atomic physicist. I'm not an astrophysicist. I'm not,
A
whatever
nuclear
else
physicist.
is out there.
People,
Yeah, whatever
we get
else
them
is out there.
crossed all the time.
Right, right. And people ask him, it's like, hey, physics. It's like, I do this. This is my wheelhouse. Or
Yeah,
even Dr. Kip and Dr. Josh. They are Old Testament
yeah.
scholars, but they will be very quick to say, I didn't do my thesis, my doctorate was not in Psalms. This is what I understand, though. It just, but Jordan Peterson, big brain scientist over here, who is a PhD in every realm of everything in every country, like can tell you definitively that this is how children behave and this is how the old should behave and this is how you should behave when your brain is on substance abuse and this is behavioral and this is clinical and this is neuropsych and like God, get fucked, dude.
Yeah, but his view of how to punish children is clearly like the type of fundamentalist belief that people take from the Bible, like spare the rod, spoil the child type thing. And you see it all over that type of crowd. Okay. And, but what really bothers me is the way that they see kids as sort of subhuman. Like they don't see
Mm-hmm.
them as
Right.
a person that's gonna grow into an adult. They're like a completely different uh I don't know, creature or something. I don't really understand what the difference they see, like how they see them, like they suddenly become an adult at a specific age, and then like from one day to the next, it changes. Yeah, it doesn't work that way.
And it's really interesting. Conservatives, I mean, again, they're not a monolith, but
Yeah,
they do seem to get pretty butthurt if their children don't grow up to have their exact same views.
mm, yeah.
So it's, I don't know, it's interesting. But,
Yeah, they're not having a kid to raise a person, a human being. They're just having a kid to be like their clone.
well, it's commanded, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you have to
That's
have
my plan.
what to command children.
Yeah, yeah. Like, I'm planning on like getting to a certain age where I can like set up a compound and like farm them.
Like Elon Musk.
Like for parks,
Uh,
like when you get old, like it's like, hey, I have this kid over here who has this, like, he has 2 kidneys. God.
yeah, I think there was this book like House of the Scorpion. It was about this guy who kept on like like keeping himself alive into crazy long old age by cloning himself and then like harvesting their organs, that sort of thing.
Oh man, I've had the 2 corneal transplants. I should have just had 2 kids and like give me their eyes. Right.
There you go. There you
Also,
go.
the Jodi
Problem
Picoult
solved.
novel, My Sister's Keeper, which is, God, it's a heavy, heavy novel. Anyway,
And I don't think that Pete's solution to program my cell phone so that I can remember what names people need to be called is a reasonable solution at all. We're actually supposed to now use electronic devices to bolster our ability to speak freely
How do
in
you
case
remember
we
names,
offend
Jordan?
someone.
Wait, what did he say?
He's saying that writing things down is of the devil, basically.
Oh, yeah,
Oh, like yeah,
he was saying, I put it in my phone, and he was just like,
like don't
And
put it in your
he's like,
electronic
this is
device, I
totally
guess.
unreasonable. You're saying I gotta put it in my phone to remember it, and it's like there is
yeah,
no difference
like you
between
do with
that and like
absolutely
the note.
everything. Like you mean I just have to remember your address? I just have to remember your phone number? I just have to remember your email? Like, yeah, that's how the fucking works. And you know what? And I could go into my phone. There's a fucking list. I could put in what your work title changes, and I could put it in there to remember. I could put in whether you're Miss or Mrs., or if you change your last name, I can update that. There is just like an endless list of shit. And then like if they don't have all the shit in there, there's a note section so that I can put like personalized shit in there to remember exactly what I need about you. And like, so we can use all of that, but adding she, her, they, them, he, him pronouns, like that's just way too far. I should not have to put that in my phone. What the fuck? Like, this is supposed to be like Jordan Peterson's best moments, and it feels like something that an SJW would do. Just like look at Peterson owning himself. Such an idiot.
The
God.
best, the best worst.
It's like on a Twitter, they haven't come over to Blue Sky yet, but it's like it's called the Right Can't meme, and it's like, and I think there's also like Right cell phones or something else I follow over there. It's hilarious. It's like they always they make these memes thinking that they're like owning the left, but like it's really like a cell phone. It like that's just that, and just stuff that's just like blatantly unfunny. It's just like that's not a joke. That's just what it is. Oh, they're horrible people. But Hooligan for $2 says, I like the super chat. If you subbed, wait, I like the super chat if you sub to Ways to Human. Am I reading that correctly? All right. Yes, everyone, sub to Ways to Human. That's AJ right here. Her channel's called Ways to Human. You should all like. And AJ, how many how many people, subscribers? How many subscribers do you have?
Like 250.
250. AJ is chronically unsubbed. All right, no,
Yeah.
everybody, come on, go over there now. Hit the sub button before you forget. God damn it.
I was on his on Justin's show though. His skeptic spin.
Skeptic Spin, yeah.
Yeah, that's
Justin's
what that
great.
is. That's what that
Yeah,
is.
this is your hooligan at
Yeah.
Skeptic Spin, who is also undersubbed, but he
Right.
got
Yeah.
rid of like 120 pounds of dead weight and is now coming up. So cheers to Justin. He'll be here next year at some point. Oh, Borg Cube is asking for link mods. If any of you, I don't know if Crystal's here, but if any of you can get a link to Ways to Human.
Oh
But
yeah,
it is also in the box under the thing. Okay.
Oh, in that case, I can probably do it.
Hey, could you also, while you're doing that, can you hit the thing? But can you go to 630? Because I think this is just more of the same.
Absolutely. I was going to ask. There are a total of 10 sections. We just finished the first two, and have then finished the first three.
Yeah, we don't need this because it's more of him being a dick to trans people.
Yeah. I was going to ask if there's any specific one that
play button.
Particular.
An old religious idea, and that was that God ruled the world with two hands, right and left, mercy and justice. And
God's hands are labeled mercy and justice.
Mercy applied, because then no one would ever be encouraged to adopt the trappings and responsibilities of adulthood. You end up
Okay, can you stop
in a
here?
situation where.
And so this is what I'm talking about. He's like, you can't just be merciful, because then nobody would, find bootstraps, which is ridiculous. Well, one, like I have no idea where he's getting this two hands of God being mercy and justice. And maybe it's an extrapolation of something that, I don't know, some evangelical bullshit that I'm not familiar with, but it's certainly not a Bible verse. But also, too, this is more of what we were saying about why psychologists don't like him. He just makes shit up. Like, there's nothing in psychological research that says that if you are merciful to your children, that they will grow to adulthood and not respect anything. Like, they'll just have no responsibilities. Um, I don't know, maybe definition check on merciful, but like AJ, we were just talking about this where, you can have realistic expectations on your children.
Yeah, I don't understand exactly where he's driving at with that one. Like I said, I don't think it's a Bible verse necessarily, but I've heard a lot of Christians say that, God's nature, and the first two that always come up are mercy and justice. And yeah.
I don't know, Doc, anything?
Sorry, I was distracted.
Hey, stop typing. Come on.
Should we
Sorry.
say it and we say it again? Just
Huh?
kidding. I'm
Oh.
kidding.
But you're right. I should mute myself when I type.
You're forgiven for absolutely everything you do or fail to do. You're thrust into the Freudian nightmare of the Oedipal family, where your utter uselessness is forgiven.
Did he say the Oedipal family?
He did.
Like Oedipal? Like
Yes.
Oedipus
No,
complex?
I think so.
I am not really sure what he's talking. Well, I'm never really
Well,
sure what he's talking about because he's never really talking about shit. But
Well, I have like captions on like live captions, and that's what it typed up. That's what it understood. So
yeah, no, I mean it is what it sounded like he said. But is that what he's actually talking about? Sure, it's probably about as good a guess as any.
yeah,
Fair enough.
some kind of bullshit.
Your utter uselessness is forgiven on the grounds of compassion, and you end up living in your mother's basement until you produce fantasies as a consequence of your squelched development of perhaps going out and shooting up a high school.
No, I mean I just, this is not founded in any research. It's like,
No,
and it is so crazy. People are like, "Oh my god, he's so profound."
Oh,
it's just
it's
He
because
so,
pulls shit straight out of his ass.
like this type of people just use this kind of wording in order to make it seem like they know exactly what they're talking about, so that people that don't know what he's talking about think that he does, and that now they do as well. So it's like
He's not talking about anything though.
I don't.
I like, even when I'm thinking about like old school psychology, is spare the rod, spoil the child. I mean, like it really used to be a thing where, like, well, you have to beat your kids or else they're gonna grow up to be nothing. Like you have to give them some what to. But like, that's not what he's doing, and that is so fucking, like, we moved out of that in the 80s. I holy shit.
It was just like a word salad, pretty much.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and that's what I'm saying. Like, it's just so hard. Like when I'm saying like we're not getting into psychology here, because he's not. He's like, I don't, and he should know this. Holy shit. Doc, could you hit the play button?
Mercy in its excess produces pathology. Justice in its excess produces pathology too, because people are not.
Source.
So mercy in excess
Are not perfect.
Mercy in excess produces psychopathy.
Mentally ill. Is that what you said?
Yeah, as does justice. I haven't gotten into psychopathy. It's abnormal psych, right? So it's different strain. But I mean, not that I've never seen it. Obviously, like you have to touch everything,
Yeah, I'm.
but
I'm not expert, obviously. Like, but I
yeah,
recently was,
just saying,
looking at some stuff on psychopathy, just because it was a
yeah,
topic that I was discussing with somebody else, and I was curious about how how that works. And so, like I say, you go to good sources. You try to find
right,
people that
yeah,
are
and
legitimate, understand what's going on.
well,
And
yeah,
yeah,
and
from
I'm
what
sorry,
I
go ahead.
understood, it's like a brain anatomy. Where psychopathy, you're born with your brain is already wired that way because of genetics and sort of a prenatal and environment and all of that. And sociopathy is like more like developed
More
based on
development,
trauma.
yeah. Yeah,
But
yeah.
like,
That and yeah, very
like,
loosely.
he doesn't.
That's my understanding too. Like insanely very loose, unnuanced opinions. Like, yeah,
Yeah,
that's a good way of saying, yeah. Um,
but like
making a
what he's
distinction. And I remember looking into that because people were throwing those words around Trump's first term. So
yeah,
I wanted to make sure
I don't know.
that I wasn't spewing science information when I was speaking with people. Um, Trump, I
Yeah,
don't think he's a psychopath or a sociopath.
right.
I think there are a lot of cases. A lot of people are calling him a narcissist. A lot of people who are trained psychologists and social workers are. I do know are saying that it's not a diagnose. I'm not diagnosing him. Um, Again, just making the correct opinion that he is a crazy person, Trump, but also JP here. Um, but yeah, what he is saying about raising kids with too much mercy, that is not found in any of the literature.
No.
And too much. I don't even know what he means by that. Like if you're being, so we could talk about like having, was it a permissive authoritarian, or a what was the third one? Like parenting styles and what you can expect from your children based on those. That's one thing. But like, out of none of those comes just like anytime you are like this, your child will definitely be like that. We tend to see trends, but it's not like flat. Yeah, here's how
Yeah,
to raise a sociopath. I
yeah.
don't.
You're talking about attachment style, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, okay, yeah, yeah. I'm familiar with
I
that.
don't know. Well, parenting styles, attachment styles are a little different.
Okay, gotcha.
But what do you call it? What he's talking about is just nonsense. Like it's not.
Uh,
Holy
but
shit!
but what I don't know, maybe I'm understanding it wrong, but I based on his
That's gonna
wording
bother me
to
now.
me, it seems like it's more talking about biblical godly mercy and justice rather
Right.
than like parental discipline. So it's like, to
Well,
me it's just it's
yeah,
just
he's trying to take old school biblical parenting advice and merge them with psychology terms or terms that I don't know. I don't.
but see
What
this.
he's saying is nothing. To quote
Yeah,
one of my favorite physicists,
Me? Yeah.
he's just totally not
Nothing.
engaged with this. He's like, it's this psychobabble girl stuff. I don't have to pay attention.
You know what? You do this most shows, Maya.
Like, I don't know about this like atomic physics babble bullshit. Like that's your wheelhouse.
my point.
And as my unfinished journey says, I hold the weasel. Where did that come from? Look, I normally like my unfinished journey, but like, there's no magnets anywhere in there. What the fuck?
Thank you, my unfinished journey. You know what?
Look, he's getting too happy now. I don't like the smile on his face.
Freaked out.
I only have the correctest of opinions.
Oh, okay. Hold on. Dreamweaver, I'm Tapioca Weasel in Discord. Just like message me there, and just listen to Antier. Like, just Antier is in charge. Everybody else is in charge, not me. Anyway, let me press play.
And that means that we all fail when we attempt to do the things that we know that we should do. And so being held to account for our failures has to be tempered by mercy, but both principles have to apply. Justice means there's structure and rules, and the people who abide by the structure and play by the rules and move towards the top win. And mercy means we're forgiven our failures so that we can rise up and play again.
Okay, I mean, the whole gamification thing is like not ideal, but like, okay.
But you can't have
I mean, he's just up there talking and giving his opinion. I mean,
Well, this part so far sounds pretty generic and like not a terrible analogy.
Well, I mean, okay, yeah, again, but like, okay, if I need you to try to think about this in your wheelhouse. If somebody's just like up there as a physicist talking about, you know,
okay, I want to smash them in a particle collider. Yeah, my wheelhouse isn't helpful here, Maya.
I'm saying if you can think about
relevant contributions from physics were the atomic bombs.
Okay, do you remember you like getting like jumping out of your chair last week because somebody said something stupid about physics?
Yeah, and he hasn't said anything stupid about physics because he's not talking about physics. So, like, I don't know what you want from me.
Again, like I'm saying, try to put this into your wheelhouse where it's just like, it's not that he's up there saying stupid shit. He is saying it as a PhD psychologist.
I mean, I honestly don't think it matters. Like,
you should listen to what I'm saying because I am an authority on this figure. And what I am saying is that rocks are, you know, are living things, and
last
you know,
sentences weren't bad. That was my point.
As opinions, sure.
Well,
not as a PhD psychologist. It's toxic.
Well, what the last stuff? I feel like he didn't get to the toxic part yet, though.
It's not even. Oh my god.
Really?
Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, is this hard?
This isn't the worst part. The worst part yet.
Is there? I don't know how to like. I don't know how to like better or worse this shit.
Let's start from the beginning of the clip and just like let it run.
Right.
Process produces pathology too, because people are not perfect, and that means that we all fail when we attempt to do the things that we know that we should do. And so being held to account for our failures has to be tempered by mercy, but both principles have to apply. Justice means there's structure and rules, and the people who abide by the structure and play by the rules and move towards the top win. And mercy means we're forgiven our failures so that we can rise up and play again.
What does that mean? What the fuck does that mean?
I don't know. I think maybe he's trying to say that you need a balance between both of them. I'm trying to understand him, but I don't. But I'm
Justice
trying.
means we live in a meritocracy. What the fuck?
No, justice means that if you follow the rules, you
will win. We don't live in a
which is like
meritocracy.
that's a
So,
weird
I
way of
mean,
putting it.
yeah, and that's a great
Like
dream world.
he should have said not lose because that's a better way of putting it.
It is not how you live life. Like, I mean, this isn't even a good opinion because it's objectively wrong.
In what? What do you mean? Like I don't under.
All right, justice means that if you wait, can you go back? God.
What justice means is like a famously hard problem. It's the entire subject of Plato's Republic.
He's trying. Okay, yeah, I'm assuming if we give this as his definition of justice, it's still objectively wrong. Like what I got from that is justice means we live in a meritocracy where if you do everything you're supposed to do, you get the outcome that you desire. And like,
I don't. Maybe
it just
I think it's just so hard to
I'm not
put
agreeing
together
with
exactly
him.
what he's saying.
Because he's saying nothing.
Yeah, exactly. I think we could sit here
Are
for
not
hours
perfect.
and try to understand it, and we probably won't.
And that means that we all fail when we attempt to do the things that we know that we should do. And so being held to account for our failures has to be tempered by mercy, but both principles have to apply. Justice means there's structure and rules, and the people who abide by the structure and play by the rules and move towards the top win.
That's so cringe.
And mercy means...
Yes, that's what I'm saying. The people who abide by the rules
win. That's a super, like, that's so fucking cringe.
Thank you. That's what I was saying. You were like, well, I don't know about that.
No, yeah, which, like, I mean, I got there. Like, eventually I was able to communicate the way in which we are on the same page, because the other ways weren't working, but... like, yeah.
Forgiven our failures so that we can...
real quick, Native Atheist, such a super chat. Lemon character moving in excitement. And I had to double check that because... So, AJ, you were here a couple of weeks ago when our chat...
I remember that.
They started giving us super chats, like trying to explain.
Super stickers?
Super sticker. Yeah. No, they were giving us super stickers that looked like... that looked like super chat. So it would be like this. But when you looked over, it was just the words. It was just like, oh, okay. And that's because somebody did a love thing. And I was just like, what is happening? It's like, I don't want to yuck your yum, but like, this is really graphic. And they were like, no, it's a super sticker. And I'm like, oh,
it was so funny.
And then so for the rest of the night, the chat was sitting in super stickers that were like describing, or super chats that would describe a fake super sticker.
So this one's supposed to be a lemon character moving in excitement.
Yeah, it's a dancing lemon. That's how I would describe it.
You know,
which is adorable. Thank you, Native.
I watched the episode last week, and with the guy that had the big whiteboard, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna bring my whiteboard, and the next I forgot about it. So just in case anybody's here. Yeah.
He does have a whiteboard.
It doesn't, I don't know what it says. It's upside down, but yeah, it doesn't say.
Oh, nice.
Oh, was that overthrow Maya? So last week, I think it was last week, he was trying to organize. Overthrow Maya.
It does say reasons to overthrow Maya.
Yeah.
No, but it was a guy on the video that had a big whiteboard, and I think it was with Grayson.
Grayson,
was on it. Yeah, and the other guy was just like writing in his board and like made it seem like he knew what he was talking about. Anyways, yeah, this I had a comment about this, but I'm blanking now what I was gonna say.
Fair.
Yeah,
I mean,
we have
I do this constantly.
Oh, I remember.
Yeah.
Okay, that he's saying that justice is what makes people follow the rules, and then those type of people win, right? Was that the message?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But then a few minutes ago, he said that too much justice
makes you a psychopath.
Develops, pathology. Well, I mean, I think by pathology he just means like any type of mental illness. I don't know if he meant like specifically psychopathy, but yeah, I'm sure he meant that. But yeah, that's like
No,
so
it's
confusing.
yeah. This exactly. It's like oh, who was I watching the other day? Um, but it's the same. Like it's like grifters speak, where they just start talking and saying shit, and like if you ask them to repeat what they said, they probably don't even know because they're not talking from anything. It's just like diarrhea of the mouth.
Yeah, brain stew.
Rise up and play again. But you can't have one without the other because the world falls apart if you do. And this is my problem with tolerance. Because tolerant people, first of all, let's say those who proclaim the virtues of tolerance, believe that they're tolerant, but generally that's not the case. They just don't
People are always calling me out on my bullshit. It's just God. I don't know how he gets around with life without like a box of tissues in his hands at every given moment. Holy fuck.
Well, I mean, when things get really hard for him, he goes to Russia, gets put in a coma.
Oh, I heard about that.
Yeah, so there's that.
Oh God.
to accept.
If you haven't heard about that, he was addicted to pills, I think opiates of some type. He had a very bad addiction, and he chose
He's had a
to
history of it, yeah.
and he chose to use a new experimental technique. I don't personally have a huge problem with this, actually, but like it's kind of not on brand, let's say. In that he went into like a medically induced coma or something. This is my understanding. If I'm incorrect, then
I heard about it. I never really looked into it. I don't know. I saw it somewhere and I thought it looked interesting.
It does look interesting, and it's
wondering why they brought him out of it, but whatever.
The responsibility that playing by the rules would bring.
LDSP, what does it stand for?
It says subscribe, so it might be just
one of the problems with postmodernism is that
he's at.
Well, that's not what.
No, not this, but they're clearly taking clips from other
places. Yeah, like this is wholesale theft, probably. So.
And this is a big problem. Like, this is a fatal problem, apart from the fact that it's incoherent and there's no value structure in it, and it's fundamentally divisive and destructive. There's a logical problem with it too that's even worse. And so you might be noticing that the LGBT set of acronyms keep.
I feel like complete incoherence is a pretty important problem that would come before any inconsistency. Inconsistency requires some level of like point by point coherence, right? It's his charismatic charm.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Real quick, for $2, Mark Kakamoto said, allow me to remedy that. Magnet. Yeah. I love you, Mark. People named Mark are cool. Hey,
you know what?
This play button ain't gonna hit itself.
It will if I. Never mind. I'm not gonna say that. That's probably.
It's growing, eh? And it's kind of a form of its own parody in some sense. It's like, well, I'm oppressed. It's like, yeah, you are. And well, I'm oppressed too. Yeah, you're also oppressed.
Whoa. Okay, so he's bitching about the LGBTQIA plus community, like just getting the acronym getting longer and longer. And rather than understanding that is for inclusivity, and to better showcase the different types of ideation, sexuality, how people feel, how people are born, who people are, to better include that. There's not just being straight. It is people actually trying to opt into being oppressed.
Yeah, because that's how the world works.
Wow, way to tell us you have no clue what's fucking going on. Like he hears, I'm in the LGBT community, and what he thinks we're saying is, I am oppressed. Please, I don't know. Please be nice to me. He doesn't seem to like it when people want you to be nice to them. Oppressed. Like I am oppressed. It's not.
Yeah, but I mean, and
It's not what's
what? Like,
happening, and it's just like my
what?
brain is
Like,
melting
he's
right
talking
now.
about white people, or talking about
No, he's talking
Christians,
about. Could
or
you go back a little bit just so
I
we could? And I think there are people who are
I
not
don't
me that
even
don't
know.
understand the brain rot. He's bitching about LGBTQ people.
It's fundamentally divisive and destructive. There's a logical problem with it too that's even worse. And so you might be noticing that the LGBT set of acronyms keeps growing, eh? And it's kind of a form of its own parody in some sense. It's like, well, I'm oppressed. It's like, yeah, you are.
Yeah.
And
well, and so it's growing because more and more people want to opt into to oppression. They want to identify as being oppressed,
Oh
like, which is
God.
totally not what this is about. And he doesn't understand that because he doesn't read shit. And all of his opinions are formed out of whatever came out of his ass that morning. Holy shit.
I'm oppressed too. Yeah, you're also oppressed, and maybe I'm even oppressing you being part of this other marginalized group, but at least we share our oppression. Well, I'm also oppressed. Well, so am I. I'm oppressed too.
So, I mean, when you're talking about, like, oh, it's his own sort of parody, then, like, he goes into this bullshit. It's like, it kind of feels like he's a parody of himself. It's like, every accusation is a confession. For $2, Native Atheist says, remedy what? The non-magnets is remedying the lack of magnets, Native. And I don't see any magnets in this super chat. So you need to remedy that.
Maya, the next time you say the word magnets that many times unprompted,
Magnets. 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 Magnets.
Let's just talk about magnets. Yeah.
Okay, so here's a problem. There's a big problem here. The problem
yeah, that's right. It's right there.
I don't know. I don't believe
true.
Peterson is a creationist. He's just a fucking idiot.
It would take him like 72 hours to answer that question, okay?
Probably.
Right.
You're oppressed, you're oppressed, you're oppressed, you're oppressed. God only knows why. Maybe you're
well, I mean, you seem to be the guy in charge here, so maybe, like, look inward, bro.
Everybody's oppressed.
too short,
Like,
or
he's
you're not
just
as
like
beautiful as you could be, or,
outright rejects oppression. So, it can roll my eyes and just be like, oh, are you oppressed too? Okay. Don't need to listen to it. I'll just make up a reason why I don't need to listen to you.
your grandparent was a serf, likely, because almost everybody's great-grandparent was.
Well, I mean, that's because we all have like 8 of them. You have 8 great-grandparents, okay? It's a large pool.
It's like, and you're not as smart as you could be, and you have a sick
I am exactly as smart as I can be.
relative, and you have your own physical problems, and it's like, frankly, you're a mess. And you're oppressed in every possible way, including your ancestry and your biology.
Again, all that worked out pretty well for me.
And the entire...
God, I mean, it's just such...
There's so much nothing that you don't even know what to
still.
say.
This is a great still of Peterson.
Oh, I love that.
and so does the guy. So do both of the guys in back. Like, this guy is like.
No, I mean, they're laughing at oppressed people. Those woke SJWs.
Okay, just because they're white and look just like me sometimes, doesn't mean they're laughing at a.
No, I mean, he's talking about this and making fun of people. And they're
I
laughing.
know, I
They're laughing
know, I
along. That's all
know,
I'm
I
saying.
know, but I was trying to decouple it because
But nobody told
I'm
you to insert
fragile.
yourself in here. It's not always about you.
My ego did, okay? It's
The
massive. You
play
don't
button. God
understand.
damn
Some
it.
of human history has conspired to produce victimized you with all your individual pathological problems. It's like, yes, true. Well, so what do you do in the face of that suffering? Try to reduce it. Start with
Reparations?
yourself.
Reparations.
Hey, what do you do with all that suffering? You try to repair it. Jordan, buddy, I'm glad you came over to the fold. Holy shit, yes. Jordan's on track with, he's not.
Okay, I could be wrong, but I think that what he was trying to say is that being gay is a condition, like
Mm-hmm.
a mental illness, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
got it.
Yeah, yeah.
Which
You're all
yeah,
up to speed now.
got it.
Fuck this guy though. Not Jester though. Jester, we love you. For
Oh,
$2, Jester
I
says,
totally thought you meant Chester.
no, we love Jester. Holy shit. We all love Jester here. Jester alerted Nelthian says, Duck wearing a cockcomb looking confused at JB Burnt.
I don't know what that means, but I'm into it.
Well,
Probably.
he said it and he paid for me to read it. So that happened.
What good are you? Get yourself together for Christ's sake so that when your father dies, you're not whining away in a corner and you can help plan the funeral. And
Wow, that's
What?
clippable.
Seriously, I don't. People pay to hear him say this.
you can stand up solidly so that people can rely on you. That's better. Don't be a damn victim. Of course you're a victim. Jesus, obviously. How do you overcome the suffering of life? Is be a better person.
What?
That's how you
Oh
do
my
it.
God, this is
What?
yeah. If you don't want to suffer, just be a better person. Holy
You
shit.
live. This guy lives in a Disney cartoon, but in the second half of a Disney cartoon.
He's a
Because
fucking walking Elon meme.
in the first few minutes of a Disney cartoon, Bambi's mom dies, okay? That's how the world works.
Well, Bambi should have been nicer.
Right, if
Bambi
you
is
are
a
nice,
punk-ass little bitch.
you will overcome.
God damn.
Yeah, I'm harsh.
Which is insane considering all the bitching and moaning he did about him having to be nice to trans people.
Yeah. We totally cut you off, AJ. Sorry.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry.
No. I said what I was saying. Yeah. He's just
Well, that's hard. It takes responsibility. There's all these ruined people out there. They've got problems like you can't believe. Off they go to work and do things they don't even like. And look, the lights are on. My God, it's unbelievable. It's a miracle. It's a miracle. And we're so ungrateful. College students, the postmodern type.
This is such a stream of conscious. Like, 2 sentences ago, he had no idea that this is where he was going.
No, and this is
I-
what I was saying about him being on stage not too long ago. It's just like he just sits there and like talks about whatever like comes to mind. He's like an ADHD machine.
Yes,
to
like
be
what-
fair,
what Maya said a minute ago. Like, if you ask him to repeat it, he probably couldn't.
I mean, neither could I. So,
Well, no, I mean, but like, okay, if you have a talk, right?
if I have like an actual talk that I'm preparing for people,
Yeah.
I practice this shit before I give it.
Yeah.
I mean, and people didn't even pay to see us talk. But like when we know that people are coming to see us talk, we prepare the shit out of it. And when people are just like, can you say that over again? It's like, which part? And then you're like, oh, okay. And then you can, not only can you say what you were about to say, but you could also go into more detail. I would put money on the fact that he could not do that. He's just going off the cuff. He's not talking about shit. And people are watching him like, and saying, oh my God, it's so fucking profound. Holy fuck.
Okay, here's the thing, right? Like, I always ask people, when I first meet them, like how they think, how in the brain, like how do you think, like visual, words, verbal, images, whatever. And there is one type of thinking called aphantasia, which is where people don't have either visual or verbal oral thinking. It's just blank, and
Hmm.
they just speak in the moment whatever comes out, and that's what it makes me think of. I think he probably has like nothing going on. He's just like word vomit.
I mean, and it's also not taking that away from you, but also grifters, right? This is exactly what we would expect to see from somebody who, like a Billy Carson, or a Roger. Or you probably don't. You're Mud Fossil University. I'm not sure if you're familiar with them. Or I don't know who's a famous grifter. What's it? Gets it?
Me.
Jordan Peterson.
Allegedly. Did Vanjie just retire? Wait, why did it just do that? Sorry, I will fix that presently.
Oh, you just kicked it out at the stream.
Yeah, I did. You know why? I'm just treating it like I was taught, Maya. Where the hell was the damn...
Chat's spamming love emotes for you.
Hold on, sorry. I apparently have a bunch of damn shit.
I don't know. AJ, how you doing?
Very incompetent. There we go. Found it. You know what, Mark? I mean, okay. Why, Maya?
What? Oh, stop crying. God, you're being such a Peterson. This is a great man. This is a great meme. I love this.
Lights are on. My God, it's unbelievable. It's a miracle. It's a miracle. And we're so ungrateful. College students, the postmodern types, they're so ungrateful. They don't know that they're surrounded by just a bloody miracle. It's a miracle that all this stuff works. That all you crazy chimpanzees that don't know each other can sit in the same room for 2 hours sweltering away without tearing each other apart, because that's what chimps do.
Oh my God. Now I'm really starting to wonder if he believes in evolution.
He believes in evolution. That's his point. His point is that, like, he's making fun of
evolution, though. I mean,
he's making fun of postmodernists. He's making fun of postmodernists, not evolution. I genuinely, I have literally zero doubt that Peterson believes in evolution.
He does like to make fun of postmodernists, so I'll give you that.
And I'm not gonna lie, this is an opinion with which I am a little bit sympathetic, because postmodernism, as I understand it, which is not sophisticated, does not make any goddamn sense.
I hear that a lot. It's not something I've looked heavily into, but
me neither. But as far as I have looked into it, I was like, well, I'm totally lost. This is anyway.
$2, Jester. Thank you, Jester. Says ducking at a cop comb, giving you get a magnet.
Okay, so I have.
Do you have a play button that you can press?
Oh, give me a second.
Do you have one of that? I don't know. We're going over. I don't know if we have enough time for you to talk.
Wow.
With regards to respect,
I am drunk.
You said, well, human civilization progresses a lot better if we respect one another, and I actually don't believe that at all. I believe that human civilization progresses and maintains itself when we respect people who've earned respect. You don't just respect everybody randomly. Well, what the hell use is respect if you just respect people randomly?
What the fuck is wrong with this?
He's not wrong. It's
why I don't respect him. Wrong. You do. You respect people until they do something with respect.
Correct.
Like
It,
if
um,
I just
if
meet you and I'm like, no, you look like somebody I shouldn't respect. I'm just gonna
Right.
push
Like I
you
just
off.
treat
Like,
people like shit until they prove that they're worthy of respect. Like
right?
this doesn't
It's
make
the
any
opposite.
sense.
not you withdraw respect after they prove they're unworthy of it.
Exactly.
Yes. Yeah.
Exactly. Which is not what he is saying.
Yeah.
You can't just randomly respect people. Fuck you. Holy shit.
Like, no, that is exactly what you do.
Well, not randomly. You should consistently respect people
Yes.
until they
Right,
demonstrate
right,
they're
right.
not worthy of
Until yeah,
it.
until they
I,
say like just dumb
I
fucked up
know that's
shit.
not
Like I'm a Catholic priest. And it's like, oh shit. Or, I'm a
true.
cop. In which case, act appropriately. But I'm just like I'm just saying, they're
Well,
either doing the thing or they're covering for someone who's doing the thing. And so in either case, should we really respect them? And I'm
like
saying
I
this
mean,
as somebody who can't not be Catholic.
yeah, like you can meet someone and automatically make an assumption that they may, be problematic, and you're gonna be on alert. But it's not like you're automatically not gonna respect them just because what you're seeing. It's like,
Yeah, I'm being
wow, shit.
facetious. I don't say priest a lot. I used to because I
Yeah.
used to work in a former monastery that was still connected to the church. So I said
Yeah.
hi. I said hi.
Yeah. No, I get it.
And again, this isn't me. I am not an anti-theist. This is me not liking pedophiles. Right.
Yeah.
Um,
But
you know.
like by doing that, you're still being respectful. You're not like, I'm just gonna go and push you off the stairs.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, and the thing is, like when I'm talking about Peterson, like if I saw him, I would totally not be
Yeah.
respectful. I don't even know if I would say hi. I'd just be like, you don't expect me to touch your hand or any other part of you, do you? You're just, it's just slimy and scummy.
Yeah.
But like for Peterson, though, right? He probably does. He's such an egomaniac. I think he probably would just treat people like
No.
crap until like he figured out that, oh, you're on my level, so I guess I can be respectful. He's he doesn't talk about anything, and people pay to hear him say, "Don't respect other people."
Yeah.
Like don't respect people's pronouns. Don't pay attention to like don't read anything or pay attention to anything. Pet a cat if you see it on the street. I
But
don't.
but that's his messaging,
Again,
okay? Like he's just saying, basically, I'm pretty sure he's talking about LGBTQ people still, right? And
Yeah.
he's just like saying, if you see somebody that looks like they could be any one of the LGBTQ uh, individuals, and then you automatically do not respect them. Whereas if we meet somebody that is, looks like whatever they look like, we are gonna respect them anyway if we don't know them at all. It's like we're not gonna base our automatic response on whether they're wearing I don't know, a trans T-shirt that like the flag or something, right? Like if he sees that, I know he's gonna automatically go to the route of not respecting them.
Well, I mean, it's just a thing though too, right? Where he's just like, okay, right now, because we're talking about something I don't like, there's no sense in me having to respect it.
Yeah,
I don't want to respect your pronouns, so fuck you. But in the other, like, and that's why I'm just like, I don't understand. Like, I actually watched, like, looked at the videos in this channel to see, like, are they pro Jordan Peterson or anti? Because out of the side of his neck, in just the shot before, he was talking about how being kind is the pathway to success. And I'm like, but this is supposed to be his best moments. What the fuck? Like,
it's so confusing.
yeah, I mean, are we pro Jordan Peterson or is this like a Jordan Peterson cell phone like video? I don't understand what's happening. But if you read the comment box below, it's just like Jordan Peterson is the biggest dick ever. I only regret that my mouth isn't wide enough for all of it to fit in. God, dude. Yeah, you didn't hit the mute button
It's like
before you started
inflating the
talking.
currency, It's like the Simpsons episode where, Bart gets a trophy because it's every child gets a trophy day. All you do is inflate the currency. Respect is actually limited to that category of people who have earned respect in some manner. So whatever you're talking about with regards to, say, common decency between people, it's not respect. And the definitions actually matter. They matter a lot. And so
See,
I hear
this
the
is
respect
this is what I'm
argument all the
talking
time.
about. Where like definitions matter, they matter a lot. So you should adhere to the definition of a woman, or else I don't have to respect you. But when we're talking about like, you winning a raise or being in my good graces, and all of a sudden, kindness matters and respect matters a lot. Fuck out of here, you asshole.
But you also can't force me to
Hey,
respect
yeah,
you.
and this,
You might be able to.
like his lectures aren't really lectures, but more like sermons. He's not
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
here's the thing. It's like, he's not, there's no facts. There are no facts. Like
Oh.
I have yet to hear a fact come out of his mouth. The only fact is I don't like having to respect other people. Like that's the only fact I've heard him say. And I know, like, it's 12 straight minutes of him rambling about nonsense. No
Force me to
facts.
act like I respect you. But you can't force me to respect you. It's just not possible. There's a complex issue here, which is
You can't
to
force
what
me to
degree
respect you. It's just not possible.
Yeah, that is evident. And frankly, we're not trying to force you to respect them. We're trying to force you to... The law that he has a problem with applies in very limited circumstances. It is not a generalized rule as I understand it. It is a specified one that says when you're in this environment with these responsibilities towards this group of people, you have to treat them with this standard, because guess what? Like, duh. Like, what? This is not a problem.
And the thing is, like, we actually do this. Like when I was saying, like I left the Catholic Church in 2000 because of what I found out that the church was doing. And I didn't want to give my money to an organization that would move around child assayers if, and they're not, they weren't doing anything about it. They were like, okay, you caught us. Sorry.
Yeah.
And that was it, period. Like, and we're not going to do anything else. We're not going to hold them accountable. We're not going to send them to jail. We're not, nothing. We're just, we are, we feel bad. And that was it. And I'm like, okay, yeah, no, you are not my moral authority. And I walked away. But like, you don't see people like doing anything. Like they could still go outside and the holy garb and like not have anything negative happen to them. You can't do that if you're gay in a lot of places. It's just it's weird. And so like we do understand that there are ways to act appropriate socially. If you don't just go out and be disrespectful to people for no reason or for your own crazy reasons in your head. I don't. God, it's not that hard. And saying, well, they can't make you be respectful.
No, but
We
you
kind of
don't.
do. I don't think that people realize what like social pressures or how we
Yeah.
socialize each other, like how. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
If you mean respect by the outward demonstration, which is a very typical way of meaning respect, then yeah, like we do. You don't. It is not acceptable to just spit on people. That's literally a crime.
Mm-hmm.
And there is a bar that you have to pass. And if you're in a teacher-student relationship with people, then the bar becomes higher.
Right.
This is what the law is about. Okay? Like,
Yeah, and I mean, again, the law doesn't. I say this a lot when we're talking about race
I
relations,
don't
but
know.
even with like things like this, the law does not care how you feel internally. You don't. The law doesn't require you to love anyone that is in, any color, any, of the LGBT community, but you do have you actually do have to respect people within reason, and I mean, for him to be like, well, you can't make me, and I'm like. And I'm pretty sure he's just moaning and bitching about this Canadian law where you have to respect people's pronouns in certain circumstances, and I'm not really sure of what that law is because I've never really looked into it besides hearing him moan and bitch about it. But if it weren't this law, it would be something else because he loves to moan and bitch about random shit. Jordan Peterson is a turf, right? Um, I You do have to respect people. You just do, and we do make you as an employer. We do make you, and as a member of a society, we do make you. When we were talking earlier about like women running up to other men, say, and acting like we knew them, so that they could get the other man to like stop like doing whatever the weird thing is they were doing. That is a way that men socially enforce respect on other men, and it sends a message, a very clear message that hey, you are not permitted to treat women like this.
Yeah.
We just do. And this is why psychologists don't respect Jordan Peterson, because he talks out of his ass like nothing he's doing is founded in logic, reason, or science. Like in this whole thing where this content creator is like all up on his dick, it is just like it's a cell phone. This man is a goddamn joke.
He's pretty much like what's his name, Alex Jones on Infowars.
I'm sorry, AJ. Would you like to add anything to what I said there? Because I've been talking a lot this whole stream, and because he's just, it bothers me that he's doing all of this under like the guise of, I have studied this and I am saying this with any level of authority, and
No, I mean like it's crazy. Like you don't really have to, like, as far as what he was just talking about, like you don't have to like or agree with somebody in order to at the very least give them the freedom to have body autonomy or basic rights.
mm-hmm. Oh. So Dr. Tapioca Weasel is gifting reparations, and that went to It's Just Me, Marianne, who I've never seen here. But
Well,
It's
you
Just Me,
know what?
Marianne. If you ever come back, welcome on in. I hope you enjoy your Tapioca Weasels, your nitties and vaginas.
They might be lurking. Also,
Cool.
maybe YouTube is just trying to do their part in getting us to finally to the next membership milestone.
That would be awesome because YouTube's been kind of a dick to me, and I don't
Except for
appreciate
when they
that.
congratulated you on getting to.
But finally getting to,
God.
I think finally getting 200 subscriptions. We could have beat 200 subscriptions. Our very first day monetized, because during our 500 stream, we were monetized, and they stopped us from getting.
Oh, wow.
Oh my God.
Not
You know
cool.
what? I'm going to keep a smile on my face and laugh through the pain because I am so mad about that.
Just keep going.
Yeah. So mad about that. But we gained, I don't know, did somebody rate us? We gained, I want to say I think 7 subs tonight, which thank you,
Yay, nice.
everyone who came through. I appreciate that.
That's awesome.
Beautiful.
Oh, you know what, AJ? Are you on Blue Sky?
I yeah, just with my Waste to Human account, not my personal. So I
Well,
think I followed you already.
Okay, cool. Because I've been trying to get everybody to come to the bright side.
Right,
The
yeah.
writer is calling Blue Sky a left wing echo chamber, which is funny. They're trying to badger us into staying on Twitter so that they can traumatize us for pleasure. And I think it's hilarious that it bothers them this much.
Yeah, I haven't used X or what was Twitter since it was Twitter. So I don't know. I
Yeah,
didn't
no,
really use it
I'm
much
still going to
before
call it
that.
Twitter until Elon stops dead naming his daughter. So,
Yeah. Oh, right, right. Gotcha. That makes sense. Yeah.
so do you want to tell everybody who you are, where you are, and anything you have coming up this week where they can see your beautiful face?
Thank you. Well, this week I am doing probably my last recording of the year, maybe just on the nonprofits. And we did a show yesterday with, like I said, with SR and Richard Gulliver. That was like really, really fun. We talk about a lot of great topics. If people want to go check that out on my channel, it's a great
Cool.
video. Yeah. And then they'll probably see me next year just because I'm having an eye surgery, so I'm taking a little bit of time off. But yeah, after that, I'm excited. I'm probably gonna try to have a lot more people on my channel. Seth Andrews, hopefully,
Oh,
he
that's
said
so
he
cool.
agreed to be on it. We're still talking about it because he's also said he's gonna take a break for the holidays. He's kind of like
Hmm.
mental health break, after the. I think everybody's struggling after November that we had. Yeah, so that's what I've got going on for now.
Yeah, that's really cool. So yeah, next week is my birthday, and so I'm taking a week off.
Oh, nice. Happy birthday.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm just like I do love doing these, but I don't want to do any work. I just want to enjoy myself and not think
Wait,
about
Maya,
having to orchestrate.
Maya,
Yeah.
like this is why you have a co-host. Like if there's 1 week out of the entire year that you can be like, yo, you
Well,
have to like
the
make the
last time I
thumbnail
the
and then
last time
start.
no, it's not even the thumbnail that bothers me. I mean, well, one, the last time you chose the show topic, it was flat Earth,
Yeah,
and
that was my birthday. It's not comparable. Okay, let's not pretend. Yeah,
um,
don't
yeah,
get trolling
I
on
don't
me.
know. I mean, yeah, I mean, my birthday's Saturday, so I'm just like, I'm not working. I'm not answering emails. I'm not delivering for DoorDash. Um,
I
I'm
got it.
not searching like the 4chan of YouTube looking for show ideas. I'm just
Maya, if you just give me
enjoying
the
being older.
password to your YouTube channel, then I can take care of all of this. Don't do that. That's like that.
I mean, sounds
Why
like
would
a
you
good
do
deal to
that?
me.
I'm
What
pretty
a
sure
lot.
no, he
You're
follows flat earthers. Like I can't imagine like what's going on in his own feed.
I
Oh yeah.
follow like 3 flat earthers, maybe. You actually have entire like accounts dedicated to looking at this stuff.
I
I
have
don't even do
too. Our
that.
guests have very random, crazy
Yeah, my
things.
name is Tapioca Weasel. I feel like YouTube just like expects that of me.
Well, yeah. So I mean, it's just
Yeah.
I mean, I have to because like I can't do both, right? I don't need Roger. Like when I'm trying to like relax and I want to do something that's like normal, I can't have Roger popping up and like it's like no, I'm trying to decompress. I don't need this level of crazy.
Right, yeah. I use my personal for like weird random stuff, and then
Mhm.
my ways to human for like the stuff that I want to look up for the channel so it doesn't like mix
Right.
up. And then
Yeah,
my
and if I
algorithm is crazy.
yeah, and if I had done a separate channel, I would have I don't know. Like now I'm just like, man, I would have loved to have had like a Bad Science Sunday thing, which I have now, but like everybody's subscribed to this. So like, but like probably around the 500 mark, I was just like, oh man, that was
Well,
probably a better idea to do something different. But
the way to handle that, Mayo, if you wanted to like do the jujitsu sort of thing would
Oh,
be
name this
to
Bad Science Sunday and then do all my personal stuff through that other one and rename it.
yeah.
Yeah, I've considered it. I'm on the fence. I mean, if it was really that big of a deal, I would. But yeah, I'm just like,
So
and
chat,
plus, like
we have to
ADHD and the laziness. I'm just, you know, it
exactly. No,
when
I'm
it becomes
totally
so big that I am just like, you know what? And then it'll just all happen overnight, and I'll just be like, I did this. But you know, it's whatever. Oh shit! Look at that. That would be fun.
yes. Oh,
What are you
dude, let's
looking at?
do it. Maya, wait, are we not
That
having a show next week? I'm like pretty sure I saw a guest scheduled.
No,
on
I
the
actually crossed
15th.
it out. I put no
Oh, you
show.
did?
But I might if you're willing to find the video and Titan's actually willing to like come on,
Okay,
I would
it
take
I vote
absolutely.
two.
yes.
I would take 2
Maya,
hours out of celebrating myself to
put us on the
I am
you could even
endorsing
be in the
this.
background.
I'm endorsing
Yes.
this. Okay, I'm endorsing it.
Okay, but you have to appear at least by voice, Titan.
No, yeah, Titan, yeah, he would only appear by voice, and I'm totally cool
Yeah,
with
you
that.
don't have to appear by like face. That's not a
Yeah, we
thing we
don't.
require.
People,
But like
yeah,
you
people just
gotta
appear by face. We don't have a policy on that. But I was really happy when, I mean, that a lot of people do. I think B.S. Lewis is the only one that hasn't. So
Titan, if you want to talk about magnets and gardening, I will absolutely talk about magnets and gardening. Okay, and you know what that does to me.
I love gardening. I will listen.
well, we have to have a stream that anyone would come to. So we'll talk, but we can just talk about magnets and gardening for 2 hours. I'm very certain that Titan would talk about gardening for 2 hours. Yes.
Yeah, I mean,
But
I
yeah, I was
probably
gonna say,
wouldn't
have you
without.
ever gardened? Because you could talk about gardening for more than 2 hours. I'm sorry.
No, Titan is the gardening guru.
My
He
dad
could,
made me help in the garden sometimes growing up, but
Well, I in 2020 during COVID, I was
Mhm.
locked up in the house. Decided to put a bed, gardening bed outside, and then it grew into like five of them. I've grown like all kinds of shit: tomatoes and kale and broccoli and cauliflower and I don't know bok choy and all sort of stuff. Hot peppers. Yeah, it's really fun.
Man, I can kill a plant like it's nobody's business.
I used to as well. I did not even know I had a green thumb. I think like I kill more plants inside the house than
Mhm.
outside the house for some reason. I don't know why.
Oh God. All right. So,
well, hold on. We should establish this right now and like establish an
no,
expectation for the audience.
no. If we're going live, you guys will see the thumbnail go up about 3 hours before we air, just like any other day. You and I will talk to Titan throughout the week.
All right.
All right. So I do want to thank everybody. We had a lot of people come through who knew that Jordan Peterson was shitting on Jordan Peterson was such a great idea. AJ, thank
Yeah.
you for entertaining that.
Oh,
I wish
so
I
much
had more
fun. Thank you.
psychology debunking to do, but it's really hard because
Hey, it's just me. Marianne showed up.
yeah, which right. We were just
Right?
talking about you. We're so happy you're here. It's just me, Marianne. Never
I
seen
was.
you before. I'm
They
very
might
happy
be
to.
working. I said.
Yeah, no, we're so happy you're here, and welcome to the fold.
Yay.
Sumami, what a great idea! I shall do too. But anyways, maybe depending on if Titan's just trolling us all or not, we may or may not be back on next week, and if not, then we'll be back in 2 weeks to do stuff and shit. So yeah, AJ, thanks for coming on with us, and would you do us the honor of streaming with us at some point again next year?
I would love to. Absolutely. Yeah, this was so much fun. I'm always
Awesome.
down for it.
Oh, Vandy, do you have anything coming up?
I do not.
All right. So I need to find a proper sign off, but
Outro?
Yeah, wait, we're totally gonna do an outro, but I guess I don't know.
The outro.
Resist and bring a friend.
We'll just do some dancing.